Be careful. Off-market real estate deals are now illegal. In the state of Washington, on June 11th, they have now outlawed and create some pretty strict penalties for real estate agents and real estate brokers who cannot, shall not, are not allowed to market amongst themselves, often called pocket listings. I wonder what's going on here. What's the backstory? Why'd they do this? Again, off-market deals are now illegal in Washington state. Beth, what the heck is going on in Washington?
Big news in Washington. And so there's been a simmering feud for years. And I'm going to rewind a little bit to talk about it. But first, I'll say what the new law is. The new law, as written, passed in the RCW, like the code or the Washington legal code, says a broker may not market the sale or lease of residential real estate to a limited or exclusive group of prospective buyers or brokers or any combination thereof unless the real estate is concurrently marketed to the general public and all other brokers, except as reasonably necessary to protect the health or safety of the owner or occupant. Marketing to the general public does not require an owner to allow access onto the residential real estate or into the residence. So what does that mean and why? So what brought about that? So there has been a rule in the Northwest MLS for many years that pocket listings are not allowed. Right. So that has been a rule for a long time, and they're trying to protect the integrity of the MLS is where they're coming from on that. And right or wrong, that's the motivation. And then the Compass came in onto the scene in 2018. I remember when I got kind of swept into that a little bit, but when they came onto the scene, they came in with the intention of challenging that, and they were touting their off-market website as one of the big values of that brokerage.
Okay.
And in Washington, they weren't allowed to do that because of, at least in the Northwest MLS, which is the greater Seattle area and beyond most of the state, that they could not do that on that site. And so the Northwest MLS and Compass started going at it with legal. Compass sued the MLS, Northwest MLS, and then a Northwest MLS decided to up the ante by proposing this law to make off-market listings illegal, not just a Northwest MLS disciplinary violation, which can be up to $5,000 fine, but now it's a licensing issue, like an agent could potentially lose their license. And even beyond that, they're going to Consumer Protection Act violation. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we're talking big consequences. And some people who model their business after this they're going to make some examples of somebody, I'm sure. I don't know who yet that's going to be, but there's severe consequences. And
well, let me ask you a question, because again, and if you don't have the answer to it, totally okay. But my first thought, again, you never know why a seller wants to sell. And I could see a situation where a seller, especially in a hoity-toity, $3, $4, $5 million home, does market it broadly. They want it pocket listing. They want it, to be very private. Is there a way a seller could sign something, check something that would go around this? Or is it just the health and safety loophole that you had at the end?
The only loophole is the health and safety, only one. And then a lot of the ultra luxury agents are some of the ones that have been fighting this the hardest. And I understand why.
Yeah.
So there are some ways that you can make it less public. So like I recently had a listing where there were good reasons why it needed to be public. And but it was also on the market. And so to give you some examples, like you can do an undisclosed address, and you can have one photo, an undisclosed address, and the name can be obscured as well. And so like there's no mapping of the listing. The name is, if you click on the tax records, like we agents can snoop pretty easily, go, oh, who lives there? It'll pop up as unavailable. So and then showings can be limited too, where somebody has to in that situation that I did that, somebody had to contact me. I had to screen that person, make sure they were legit, and then they would go see the house. House sold, we did market it, but it was like, you can restrict that marketing back quite a bit if you want to.
Yeah, because there's again, I think it's the high end stuff that you really just don't want. You don't want to market it widely. I mean, that's
you don't want people snooping around, especially if you're well known or high profile or something. Like, there's reasons to have that.
Oh, absolutely.
I think there's a little bit of, I think the true core motivations are being obscured a little bit on this on both sides.
Okay.
So I think that the brokerages that were fighting for the off market are looking for.
Well, they were trying to create some exclusivity. That's what Compass was trying to do.
They wanted double end deals.
Yeah, of course.
Story. Why not? It's a business. They want to double end deals. Just be honest about it. It's not really about sellers' rights or all that. Maybe a little bit, but that's not the that's maybe the secondary reason, in my opinion. And
so why would the state pass this? I guess the state is really looking at the seller who's a non-sophisticated seller, right? Typically, a homeowner will buy and sell 1 or 2 houses in their entire life. This is not normal business for them. So they don't want them to be taken advantage of, hence consumer protection, right? Hence the big hammer of that.
And
so you can get that.
Yeah, there's a few reasons. And so it is true that when a home is marketed to all potential buyers, you get potentially a better offer and more, if that's what you're looking for. You get, not everybody wants highest amounts, and people just want the easiest sale, and that's valid. But when you market to every prospective buyer and every agent, you're going to have better market exposure, which equates usually to better price and terms in most cases. So there is that. But I think the real fight is they want to hold on to their relevance. Sure. Because there's a lot of, and that's what it is more than anything. I think they're saying, and I'm not saying this is not a concern, but I'm saying, like, what they're putting out there is that this is a fair housing violation. They're really locked onto the fair housing. Okay. Saying that when you only market to a certain group of people, you're not marketing to other people. And some of those categories could be fair housing categories.
For sure.
So that's the law, the legal thing. But I think ultimately what really motivated it was the MLS, and probably other MLSs out there in the country. Like, there's a threat from these other portals trying to become their own MLS. Right. Which reminds me of, like, in New York City, was it Street Easy? Like, they don't have an MLS. They've got this Zillow company that manages all that. And so when you get these big tech portals, like, wanting to have their own MLS, that erodes the integrity of the original MLS. And I do have to say, like, there is something nice about knowing I can go on one MLS, all the listings will be there. I don't have to go to Zillow for some, Redfin for another, Compass for other listings, and split it all apart like that. So I wonder, like, what really does help the consumer is to have access to all listings, and, like, restricting that information can be a little bit of a issue.
I mean, if you step back and you replace housing with cars or clothes or wine or whatever, typically, if you're a seller, the more eyes, the better. Typically, right? I mean, there's more demand, the better, right? You're going to get your best price. When you think about the service providers involved in a real estate transaction, they're of course trying to show their value. And if they have their own little portals and their business model is, maybe in the industry, 5% of transaction are double-ended. I'm just making up numbers. But if you go to this other vendor and they have 27% of transactions double-ended because of the portal, that just shows the business model is about the vendor, not about the client, in my opinion. So, I think this is interesting. And it's really odd that it went into effect June 11th. I mean, talk about a day out of nowhere to put something into effect. It wasn't January 1st. It wasn't anything. It was June 11th. That's wild.
I'm not sure why that date was picked, but that's
I don't know either.
Yeah, it seems kind of random. And I think that a lot of the word really hasn't come out yet. So I think we'll see a lot of this take shape in the coming months as we start seeing more legal
now, here's a question,
et cetera. Like, there's going to be a lot that's going to be working into making sure agents are in compliance with this.
So I'm curious, how is this going to be identified, right? Again, it's only been enforced for 5 days, so we probably don't know yet. I mean, are they using AI technology to go out and identify problems? Is it going to be?
That's a good question.
Is it going to be a seller who raises their hand and say, "Hey, my agent didn't do do whatever, didn't do it? Is this a tattletale? Is this a, I don't know. It's going to be interesting how they identify these.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see how it's going to change agent behavior, because I see in a lot of Facebook groups or even just people chatting like, hey, I got a buyer, or I just got a call 2 days ago from somebody saying, I've got a seller in this area and I'm wondering if you have any buyers for it. They're willing to do off market. And, I didn't say anything, but, but it's just like, that's the kind of thing that's problematic.
That's a no-no. That's a no-no.
If you have a signed listing agreement, so how will this work for off-market sellers? Like if I have a listing agreement with a seller, I have to put it in the MLS.
Yeah, of course.
And for myself as a seller, so a person who's not a licensed agent can still market their property off market.
So to be clear, an owner could choose to sell by owner. They could
do for sale by owner, as they should be able to do that. That is a valid option that sellers should have.
I agree.
I have done for sale by owner because I've got so many people in my network that I can just put up the flag and somebody will come and make an offer on one of my properties. And now technically I'm not allowed to do that, which I don't like, having that lack of
that's true.
Even I can't sell my own property off market.
Wow.
And there's a lot of flipper investor agents out there where this is going to impact them a lot.
I'm surprised there isn't that caveat to say if you're a licensed agent and you're selling your own home.
Yeah, I'm not hurting myself.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, you're a licensed professional who does multiple transactions. So that's odd to me that that's not in the.
I know. And the other thing I think is interesting where it says not just sale, but it says lease.
Yeah, I caught that. The lease.
So I haven't heard anybody talk about that yet in any of the seminars, etc. Like in our area, leases are not put on the MLS 99% of the time. It goes on places like Zillow Rentals. Is that and so then there's a question of, is Zillow Rentals marketing to all prospective tenants?
Great question.
Or do you have to put it on the MLS where nobody really looks for rentals?
Yeah, because no renters.
It says you have to market it to all potential prospects, like and agents. It says so you have to market it to all tenants and agents, and it's like, but in our area, agents don't. In some markets, agents do that on the MLS, but not here. It happens all off market. So what would that mean when I have a vacancy to fill? Do I have to put it on the MLS? Maybe. It kind of seems like yes. So I think there's a lot of unknowns and kinks that are going to be worked out on this. But I think a lot of agents like myself, we just have to be careful about
for sure
are making sure we tread lightly, because it's not just a slap on the wrist or a fine. It's going to be some pretty hefty consequences for some people, I think, who are doing it as a pattern. And if somebody can, and if a buyer can, if a seller can show that they were harmed in some way by this, or a buyer that didn't get a chance to make an offer because of something that they think was a fair housing violation. So it's interesting how these, how far this can escalate. So now there's countersuits. And so Compass sued the Northwest MLS, and then the Northwest MLS got this law passed. Now there's countersuing Compass, saying that they're violating the Consumer Protection Act.
Lots of money in real estate. That's what
I know. Everyone's battling for relevancy and commissions.
Yeah, their little piece. Well, folks, let us know about your state. Again, Washington State now says off-market deals are illegal. Any other states out there that have this? I'm just curious. I don't know the rules in the other 49 states. Beth, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and talk shop, how do they do that?
Yeah, so I can be reached through BethTraversogroup.com, or if you're a member of the school community, you can reach out to me on there. So
yep. And if you want to get a referral to a top 1% agent, I highly recommend you reaching out to her. She will make an introduction. And if you're in my school community, definitely take advantage of that. It is a great free service that Beth gives you. Take care. Have a good week.
Thank you. You too.
Yep.